Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to Yakim out there pushing this word. This is the brother Raya with another video, and I'm going to do a sit down today on some milk scriptures just for edification purposes for myself and others, because I've been seeing with a lot of videos from brothers in camps that a lot of people just aren't getting the confusion of faith, so that there are two different types of Gentiles, especially now with that video that came out of those Palestinians and some Arabs sending letters to black churches. I think one was down here in Louisiana talking about how we know that the Negroes are the true Jews and the one in Israel are not. But they fail to mention the northern tribes, which are the Native Americans and the Hispanics, and also the confusion of faces that can come looking as any nation in the world. So that's what I hope the point I hope to get across in this video. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with my first scripture, Matthew 10:5-6. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So first off, if as it's stated in John 3:16 that the Most High sent His Son to save the whole world, then why is Yahushua, His Son, here only speaking to the apostles and sending them to the lost sheep of the house of Israel? That doesn't sound like the world to me. But let's go a little deeper. I'm gonna get my next scripture. Matthew 15:24, and these are both, as you can see in Matthew, the New Testament, which isn't the Old Testament. For anyone out there who thinks, oh, the law was done away and everybody's been grafted in and such. Matthew 15:24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So again, Yahushua is clarifying that he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which includes the Negroes, the Native Americans, and the Latin Americans, as well as the confusion of faces brothers and sisters out there. And I'm going to go straight into John 3:16 to kind of clarify it a little bit. John 3:16, for the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Now, as to an unlearned person, they'll read this and be, oh, well, that's point blank period. It says right there that the whole world will be saved. But if they just go a little farther into the chapter, which is in the same chapter as well, John 17:9, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. And who are these that were given to him that are thine? Let's go to another book in the New Testament. Galatians 4:4 and 5 and 6. But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son Yahushua, made of a woman, made under the law, and he was made under the flesh, to debunk any of you immaculate conceptioners out there, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because ye are sons, the Most High hath sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. And who are these sons under the adoption under the law? Here comes, let's get to this scripture, which is one of my personal favorites. Psalms 147:19-20. He sheweth this word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. This is obviously talking about heathen Gentiles, as with my first couple of scriptures should have proved, and we could have ended the video there. But as you can see, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua is only dealing with the Israelites and the Israelite foreigner confusion of faith Gentiles, which I can testify that I was one of them before I came into this truth. But if Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua feels this way for his children and is coming back for them, then how does he feel about the other heathen Gentiles? Another personal favorite scripture of mine. This is, let's go, in the Apocrypha, Second Esdras chapter 6, 54 through 57. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us, and to devour us. When we broke the law, that's what happened to us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, those under the law, those sons of adoption, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. As you can see now, with just these heathens living in our neighborhoods, like the Moabites and the Ishmaelites feeding us poison and such, like Hennessy and chicken, which is pretty good sometimes, but you shouldn't be the chicken most of the time, you shouldn't be eating that too much. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? And how long shall this endure? Not too much longer with the way things are going, and as you can see with this super blue red moon coming up at the end of the month, with the past super moon that came, I think, around the end of September, sometime in October, all hell just broke loose, like those floods and hurricanes hitting the northern tribes and the Bahamas and Central and South America, and just all this geopolitical stuff that's going on. And if that was just a teaser of what's to come after this new supermoon, which apparently there were 2 supermoons in 1 month, so double the trouble, and also a lunar eclipse this month, we can only hope and pray for good things, well, for the chosen anyway, good things that'll fulfill prophecy, but bad things for you heathen Gentiles who are as nothing but spittle in a bucket. And let me see, where do I want to go from here? So I'm going to go off onto a little story real quick before I get back to my scriptures. I was working one of my jobs, and I was talking to the wife of one of the people I work with who happened to be there, and she's a old Edomite woman, an old country woman with blonde hair, and we got to talking, and she said her great granddad was a Negro whose wife was a Gadite. And so that just got my ears perking. So I just asked her questions and stuff like that, and I put it across her that, did you know King James was a so-called Negro, and that so-called blacks had ruled Europe during the Dark Ages when the Edomites were still in the Caucasus Mountains? And she said, oh, well, that figures, that just kind of makes sense, and was agreeable with it. And so there's an example of a confusion of face there, which I'll just wait to get the scripture. So, yeah, that was a good example to me, and I hope to you, brothers, of a confusion of face. And to further edify it, after I was leaving the job, so the Most High didn't allow me to get soft, there was a drunk, younger Edomite with blonde hair who was walking by me, and at first she said, oh, who's that? And then I guess when she noticed that I was a Negro, she said, run, nigger, run. So not all blonde Edomites out there for you brothers, or a confusion of faces. And it's going to also go into another story. I had a job, I think the next day or the day after, where I got to talking to another old Edomite country woman with blonde hair, very similar to my co-worker's wife that I was talking to. And we got into a conversation about the Bible and bringing up Jesus. And then to test her, I said, did you know the original Negroes were black? And she scoffed at it. And so there's an example, and I'm going to go into a scripture for that. I got a few scriptures up here, so I got to kind of find it. Perfect. Here we go. 1 John 4, 1 through 3. Excuse me, brothers. Beloved, Believe not every spirit, but try the spirit, whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the Spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of the Most High, and every spirit that confesseth not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. So as you can see, with the little example I just gave you, I tested the spirit to see whether she believed that the that the Israelites were originally Negroes, and I didn't get too deep on her about the northern tribes, but she scoffed at it. So clearly, she was not coming in the name of Hamashiach Yahushai, who, as it says, came in the flesh, and he came in a Negro's flesh. So it'd be kind of good to know what he looked like and believe in that. So now I'm gonna get into the second part of this video a little bit more in depth with confusion of faces. Let me see where I'm gonna go. Here's a good scripture. Daniel's 9 and 7 through 8. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel, that are near, that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespasses that they have trespassed against thee. Daniel's 9 and 8. O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of faces, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. So right here it's talking about how the confusion of faces are scattered among the nations. And if you know Jake, he likes to pop women of different nations because he likes his variety. So if the men of Israel were scattered to these different nations, you best believe that they hooked up with these women and they had children, and those children were probably attracted to women that were of a similar race to their mother, so they did the same thing and so forth. And so you had Israelites that started looking like nations, faces of other nations. And I'm going to get an example right here. For any of you brothers who like 80s movies or older actresses, this is Radon Chong, she's a pretty attractive sister. She almost looks Puerto Rican, and on first sight, she's got the curly hair, beautiful lips, nice skin, and she just looks like an overall Judite or northern tribes, Puerto Rican and such. But to any of you who like Cheech and Chong, she is Tommy Chong's daughter, which also doesn't seem like a problem because he seems like he could be an Issacharite brother, but actually he's a Moabite, which would make his daughter Radon Chong a Moabite. And to get an example, I'm gonna go to his Wikipedia page. Go down a little bit. All right. Chong was born at the University of Alberta Hospital in Edmonton, Alberta on May 24th, 1938, and given the name Thomas B. Kin Chong at birth. His mother was Lorne Jean, a waitress of Scottish-Irish ancestry, so maybe that's where he got his dark complexion from, and there's a good chance that his mom was an Israelite, because a lot of people know that in the know that a lot of Irish are Israelites, and Scots simply means black, so Scotland would mean black land. And his father was Stanley Chong, a Chinese truck driver who immigrated to Canada from China in the 1920s. So as you can see, Moabite, which is a funny picture because you got this Edomite here laughing like he knows, and this Moabite looking like, oh, are they on to me? And you got Jake over here like, oh, I knew it, he's done. And if he's a Moabite, then that would mean she is a Moabite as well, just to give you brothers an example of a confusion of face. And before I get off on this video, I'm hit up a few more scriptures